technical breakdown here. Now, this is really important for everyone to know and everyone to see here. Now, this is the QQQ, the NASDAQ, if you will. We have crossed the low here on that. So this indeed was a bear flag. So we had a bear flag and we crossed that low with a big old gap down. We're all the way down to 459 right now. And if this is to continue, we're going to come at least down to about 448, maybe even down to the August 5th lows, which were all the way down at 423, which would be, let's have a look see here, which would be off of that, be about where that bear flag started, right at the very base of that bear flag. That would be a double down from there, which would take us to 21% off the highs at least. So we are looking at a full-on retracement at this point, unless we get a huge V shape from here all the way back up over 493 right after the April 2nd deadline for tariffs. So that was my watch for some reason trying to spy on me. Stop it. Now we look at the SPY. Let's take a look at the SPY as well. This is really important as well. Look at this SPY also undercutting the lows on this big old gap down here. Now, again, the only way that this recovers is if this does a V-shaped recovery and we get back up above, into this section, the midsection here, around that 560. Now, you could say we just fill that gap, but if we fill that gap, it could be a fill of the gap and then break back down sort of scenario. So I'm not really super keen on that idea. But again, we've had the bear flag right there, and it broke down. We have technical breakdown here. That is bad. That is really bad. Okay. So let's see here. And if we are to see that come to pass right here, all right, okay, so our next stop will be 540. If we lose 540, we're going to the August lows all the way down at about 510. All right, so keep that in mind with all your trades. Anything I was long on, I'm absolutely taking a bath right now. So basically, we could go down to 12% off the high or potentially 16% off the high. If we did a full 20% off the high on SPY, we'd be looking at about 490. So it'd be dipping underneath 500. We'd be coming back down to these levels here from 2024, April 2024. So we'd be losing all that. Now, this all hinges on the trade agreements. This is all the trade war, guys. This is all the trade war. As soon as that's resolved, this goes away. But until then, we're going to continue to see these insane temper tantrums out of the market. All right, so we lost that. Let's go look at Bitcoin real quick. Okay, so we've looked at the overall market. The NASDAQ is showing us charging ahead, showing of like an actual breakdown. The SPY is basically, it swept the low, so yeah, it's going to likely go dip a little lower. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is holding, actually. Bitcoin is actually holding up. Bitcoin doesn't flash the top until it hits beneath this candle right here from March 11th. So Bitcoin is actually showing a little bit of, controversy here in not agreeing with the rest of the market. Let's go ahead and put that white line there. I'm going to lock that down. I'm going to make that red. So basically $76,400. As long as we're above that, Bitcoin could still continue to hold itself. And we are seeing a bit of an inverted head and shoulders, like it came down, shoulder, head, and we could have a shoulder there. And if we break out of this channel right here, we're going back to all-time highs likely. Well, first we'll probably hit $100,000 to slam into that and scare everybody a little bit first. But actually, Bitcoin is looking okay. Not the worst. The miners, however, are getting absolutely slaughtered. The miners are done. Look at Soluna down 22%. CleanSpark warrants down 18%. This is bad. This is really disgusting. And something that is bothersome to me, at least, is Bitcoin's not really going down that much, but these miners are down to levels that they were trading at when Bitcoin was, sub $20,000, and Bitcoin is currently $80,000. So this really doesn't make any sense whatsoever that they are trading as low as they are right now. So I'd be expecting at least some sort of relief out of these things sometime soon. I mean, maybe not full-on rallies back to the tops or anything, but probably closer to double ups or so from here. So let me draw that on there for CleanSpark. I'll leave that yellow. Yeah, I'd be expecting some kind of double ups at least on some of these, but this is bad. This is really really disgusting. And if this doesn't start to get repaired here soon, I would be expecting full on breakdown, like all the way to like some of these things are going to go bankrupt if this thing doesn't resolve itself soon. Like look at Bitfarms right now down to 77 cents. Whew, Bit Digital under $2 right now. IREN under 5. I'm so glad I sold that. I am glad I sold my MicroStrategy, but like it's not, it still sucks. So MicroStrategy currently, we came back to test this trend line and we're breaking it. We break that trend line. So MicroStrategy has been a bit of a forward-looking asset on Bitcoin. So the fact that it is dropping by 4% while Bitcoin's only down 0.25% is kind of troubling. But we'll see how that breaks, how that comes out in the future. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Just a kind of flashing the warning signs here. Nvidia gonna down 5% today. Everything is pretty terrible. Tesla down 6%. I was buying Tesla. I sold all my Tesla. Vertiv down 7% today. I'm taking quite the bath on Vertiv right now. This one, I mean, I wrote it up from around 85 all the way up to 94, and then just in 3 days it was already wiped all the way back down to baseline, and it's all the way back down to 68 right now. This is really disgusting. This is really really disgusting. If this thing can't hold here, if Vertiv can't hold where it is right now, I'd be looking at it coming all the way back down to maybe 55, potentially even as low as critical support around 40. Honestly, down to like $40. That is very possible. That would suck. I'd be a 50% haircut on what I had bought so far. I'm glad I didn't go ham, and I only bought I bought a little less than half of the position I wanted. So I might have to double down when it gets down there, and we'll see, because I do expect this play to come back. It's not like data centers are going anywhere. It's not like cooling needs for CPUs and GPUs and AI chips are going anywhere. Vertiv supplies those. So and they are on that cycle where it is time to start upgrading a lot of those things. So I'm really not too concerned about this stock overall, as long as I'm willing to hold it for a year or two. But I wasn't really planning on holding it for a year or two, and now it looks like I am. That's all. So it's not really great. Anyways, that's pretty disgusting, especially with the 2-year coming down, the 10-year coming down and stocks falling. That's bad. Look at this bear flag on the 10-year right there. It's a nice bear flag on the 10-year. The base for that being all the way down here in the 3.72% range, which is actually good overall, because we want to see the 10-year falling. The 10-year rate falling, that is actually good. It's supposed to be good for stocks. But watch this thing. It's going to come down to this support down here with this inverted head and shoulders was around 3.7 at some point in time. What else are we looking at? VIX did a little spike up to 24. So that's a bit rough. We'd like to see it maybe spike a little higher. Maybe spike a little bit higher here. And that would give us some peak fear to buy off of potentially for a short swing. I'm not holding anything anymore for more than like a day or so at all. Like, this is so super frustrating. SCHD looking like it's showing some life. It's been a while. This thing has not outperformed the S&P since, I want to say, since like 2022 or so was the last time it outperformed. So it's been a couple of years. So it's probably time for this one to start outperforming again. Not so bad. See this thing come up to like here. So SCHD is a dividend play, a value dividend play. And as you can see, they are showing that they are doing quite well with that. Palantir down to 79. Palantir is going to hit. So Palantir, that's a bear flag. This bear flag could come all the way down to 70, maybe even all the way down to the lows down here around 45, and that would be pretty brutal. I do have a 77 put that I sold on Palantir, so that looks like it's probably going to hit that at some point here, and I might be buying Palantir for $77, and I don't love that, but that's the game, part of the game. I was buying SoFi. I sold all of my SoFi for a small gain last week, just barely got out of it before it started dumping back to these lows here. I am expecting SoFi to potentially, I'd like to see it bounce at the bottom of this candle at 1085. If it fails to bounce there, well then, if it fails to bounce there, we're looking at coming as low as 980, potentially even all the way down to $8 on SoFi. Anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio. Stay safe out there in these turbulent times and have a profitable day.